Hello, everyone. I wanted to make a comment or two about the prompt for the 5:30 Arthur discussion board. Arthur does make more than one point against Singer in this essay. One of the things, if I remember rightly, that he says at the end is that if we go with Singer's more demanding second principle, um, which is the version that says that as long as we're not giving up anything of comparable moral value, that we have to do what we can to prevent bad things from happening. That is too demanding, and that is impractical, and that a moral philosophy has to be doable. And he doesn't think that really Singer's ethics are doable, at least in my that's what I remember. But I don't frankly don't think that's the most interesting point that he makes against Singer in this essay. I think that his most important point is right here, and that is that Singer fails to take into account so called backward looking considerations. It helped me, I think, clarify some things, maybe some problems that I had with Singer myself, and with with utilitarianism itself. That is, utilitarianism is forward looking, and the forward looking and backward looking thing is that utilitarianism is a form of consequentialism. So our orientation is entirely towards the future when we think about what we should do or what we should not do, because we're talking about consequences or results. The whole idea of backward looking considerations is sort of how do we get here and how do the ways that we got here affect the ways that we think that things should work out. His easiest example, I think, Arthur's example, is of the two farmers. One has plenty of food because they worked hard the previous summer. One is starving because they didn't work hard the previous summer. So what Arthur says is it may be that the hardworking farmer with an excess of food has an obligation to give some away to save their neighbor, but it's not irrelevant, right, to the situation that you know the backward looking considerations, which are basic considerations of justice and desert. How do we get here? Why does one farmer have a surplus and the other has a need? Right? Again, it may be that at the end of the day, the farmer with the excess has a moral duty to feed their starving neighbor, but it's not irrelevant that they worked hard for their surplus, and the reason that their neighbor is starving is because they were lazy. Right? Again, it doesn't decide the matter in itself, but it is, I think Arthur would say, an important consideration. So this is, I think, the reason I'm focusing on this aspect, because I do think it's the most important point that Arthur makes. But I think it's also quite interesting, especially if we think about Kant and utilitarianism. And one of the things I really believe about those moral theories, which we looked at very quickly, but we did look at in week one, is that utilitarianism and Kantianism are they really are antagonistic in terms of being moral theories, and they might be mutually uh, contradictory. Right? That is, if Kant is right about morality, then utilitarianism wrong, and vice versa. But I don't think that really can be true because we make such frequent use of both. And to put it in Arthur's language, we're constantly switching back and forth between the backward looking view and the forward looking one. That is, we're constantly switching back and forth between moral principles, say, like the categorical imperatives of Kant, and looking forward to the results of our actions and its impact on human happiness or welfare. I personally believe that we couldn't do without either of them. And I think that's essentially Arthur's best point, which is that we need to use both, and we need to use our judgment in using both. When are results or consequences the most important thing, and when are principles like justice and fairness and desert and rights, when are they the most important thing? I mean, we couldn't. Nobody really believes in a full blown absolute utilitarianism, at least in the sense that thinking about producing happiness, at least immediate happiness, it just can't be the only consideration. It oftentimes is the only consideration because other things aren't relevant, but it can't always be the only consideration, I think. And similarly, about, say, principles like Kant's categorical imperatives, if we were to religiously apply them without ever making allowance for the weight of circumstances, then I think that it would be equally unthinkable. Right? Although the thing about Kant's categorical imperatives is they're very well crafted and they're very well thought out, and it's kind of hard to think of situations in which they don't apply, and you need a judgment in applying them. But in any case, I think that I do think that he's right. I think that Arthur's right. That's just my personal opinion. That is that we have to supplement utilitarianisms like Singer's with backward-looking considerations. But Arthur is not saying that utilitarianism is wrong. He's just saying that it's not sufficient to deal with the complexities of moral life, that we need something else as well as utilitarianism.